it becomes an impression which becomes very deep. So if suppose somebody says the same thing again, which has hurt you in the first place, you're going to feel even bad the second time, because you have thought of it repeatedly, and the next time somebody says the same thing, who is it harming? It is harming only you, because that impression which is formed in your subconscious mind is only getting deeper and deeper, which means you're hurt. That feeling of hurtness, the feeling of remorse, of getting feeling negative is actually making you pull down your energy, because it has entered into your subconscious mind. So you have to be guarded when you are going on a negative path. The center is the categories of impressions that are classified, such as likes and dislikes, temperaments, give and take. Now in our subconscious mind, what you will find is all these small white dots. These are the impressions or the centers. What do we call as the centers? If I give the name, if I just say chocolate, or in this cold season or in this hot season, mango, what comes to everyone's mind who loves mangoes or chocolates? Your taste buds gets awakening. So what have I done? With the power of the word, I've just said that word, mango or chocolate, whatever you like. It has actually aroused your 5 senses. And especially for somebody who loves chocolates or mangoes, it has awakened that center in your subconscious mind by only the word which I am saying. I've still not brought the mango in front of you. I've not still got the ice cream in front of you. So imagine the power of a single word. It also has energy. And actually when you're transmitting, when I'm talking about it, it is creating that energy within you. Why? Because it is awakening the center in your subconscious mind. And that is what we have to be very careful. Because that is what we are born with. Whether you like or you have a like center, you have a dislike center. Somebody does not like milk. What is that? That is a dislike center which has already been formed in your mind. So every time a glass of milk is put in front of you, you're only strengthening that center. Somebody may like music. Somebody may like art. You find today, we find so many examples of small children. They have, they're very good on the computer. Not all the children are good on the computer. But you find 2-3-year-old who may be able to recite a scripture, may be able to recite something, which probably another child may not be be able to do it. What is that? He's carrying that center, which is a very deep center of knowledge from his previous births, which he is carrying forward in this year. So therefore what is happening is that center in that mind has been created over the past births. Therefore it is not very easy for us to remove certain centers of likes and dislikes. Therefore, in spite of somebody making a resolution that no, I am not going to have sweet things, if a sweet food is put in front of him, the trigger from the subconscious mind takes over in spite of all your conscious efforts. And you end up having that sweet which is put in front of you. And then you say, it's my weak spot, I couldn't resist it, I just had it, I don't know why I had it at that time. These are the thoughts. In spite of making a strong commitment to yourself that I will not have it, but you end up having it. So what has happened that time? That in that phase, in that weak moment, as we say, the subconscious mind took over your conscious mind. And therefore, that played predominance. And why did it play predominance? Because this was already existing. We cannot see our mind. It's intangible. But that the way we feel is an outcome of what is happening in our mind. And that is how our mind is structured. When we say a personality defect, there is always good and there is always bad. When we talk of good things, we call them as qualities in our context over here. There are personality qualities of a person. When you talk that he is a good person, he is a knowledgeable person, he is a giving person, he is a caring person, these are good qualities of a person. And when we talk of somebody who he always complaining, he's always angry, he's irritable, he doesn't care, all these feelings are defects or shortcomings of the person. And therefore, the desirable impressions will be qualities and undesirable will be your defects. When the same impressions are observed while performing every action, then that is considered to be one's nature or one's personality. When you meet somebody, after 10 minutes or 5 minutes of interacting, your mind has already formed an impression or a label about that person. He seems a good person. He seems irritable. He seems quite an angry person. So you're already forming opinions in your mind about another person. And that is what you are actually relating to the person's nature. The person seems a good person. So you know you have related to the person's personality of that person. And that becomes synonymous. It becomes one with the person who is standing in front of you. Actions and reactions on the impressions created on the mind. Any action you come with, any action is what you do. Action is come either as a result of the action, or a reaction could be something which is happening in your mind. And as we go on, we will see what are the different kinds of reaction you may have. Action that is harmful to the doer or any other person would be a personality defect. Somebody shouting at us, somebody talking rudely at us, somebody being arrogant with us is a personality defect. And comes out in an action which harms the other person. If somebody is rude to you, it's very natural you're going to feel hurt. What did I do? If somebody is angry with you, obviously there are reasons for everyone reacting to something or getting angry over something, but the fact is something which is taken positively. And therefore, on an average, any of our actions and reactions, 50% are positive or proper, while the remaining 50% are not correct. So we have to look at 50% of the thoughts which come into our mind. Are they positive? Are they negative? And you will find most of the time, and especially in the current era the current era of what we say is strife or Kali-yuga, there is so much negativity around us that it is very important for us to be positive. Everybody says be positive, but is it so easy? Having understood the process of how the defects are within us, because as we say, 90% of the change has to take within you. The world around you will change. So we have to introspect at our own selves, understand from where our defects are arising, and therefore make an effort to make a change, and then make a change for the better to remove that defect. What are the importance of removing a personality defect? Now, if somebody has a nature of getting angry or getting irritable, or a mother is always worried about the child all the time, now that's a defect, and that is not making the person be peaceful with him or herself. It is only making that person restless, agitated, anxious, tensed. If it is greed, it will be somebody who cannot just understand the power. Somebody who loves to have power, as we see with all the political world. So therefore, all these things are, once having understood that if to the personality defect within us or the PD within us, we slowly can make an effort to remove or reduce that defect which is there within us. And therefore, what would it result in? It would result in a direct correlation, and I can vouch for that. It's a direct correlation. You're going to feel more contented, more blissful with yourself. All the same things will happen around you. Things are not going to change. But the fact is, since you have started looking at that same situation a little differently, it's going to help you in changing the way you react, and therefore the PD, the importance of removing PD will help you to develop a good quality within you, which is already there, but it may be dormant. And it will help us to awaken the good side of us, and thereby help to give more contentment, more happiness. Second, PDs are also responsible for one's unhappiness. We are where we are in our lives by choice, by choices we have made. Whether bad, good, right, wrong is something which destiny and your own decisions, surroundings make up of what you are, where we are today. But the fact is, can we change from now on? Because it's now what matters. What has happened doesn't matter. It's from now on how you take ahead, of how you make a change in your thought process is where the difference can come in. And that is where the process of the PDR, what we say, the personality defect removal, makes a difference tangibly. PDs are also the main obstacle in one's spiritual practice. The fact is, when we say spiritual practice, no, people think, oh, spiritual, I do it, I pray all the time, I keep praying and all. But the fact is, why do you go? We also believe that everything what is happening today is happening because of our own karmas, because of God's will, and so on. And the purpose of human life is also, if people who understand on the spiritual side a little more in depth, is that the purpose of human life is also to carry out spiritual practice as one of the objectives of life goals. It cannot be a complete goal, I understand that. We have to survive, we have financial goals, we have social goals, we have community goals and personal goals. And out of that, there's also what we need is a spiritual goal. In fact, in today's economic times, or maybe yesterday's, there is an article which says very clearly that today's MBA will also be rated on the spiritual quotient, apart from the emotional quotient, apart from his IQ. He is also going to be rated on his SQ, because he needs to run today's corporates and businesses ethically, which is today not happening in many organizations. So therefore that itself plays a very big importance of how we see our own values, our own culture making a change. And we are lucky to be born in this country with the culture which we have, which the future generation is getting deprived of. So therefore, it's very important that we understand that in today, for our own growth, in all area of your life, in any area, you require this as the base. Therefore, if somebody who has more personality defects, he's more unhappy. The more person makes, it will only give him more unhappiness, because, as we say, the camera is on you. And when the camera is on you, who does it matter? Somebody is watching your actions all the time. And so therefore, whatever right or wrong doing is only something you have to correct. And obviously at the end of it, all of us want to be happy. And that's the aim of whatever we do, either to increase our happiness or reduce the pain which we have in our lives. Some examples